In this problem, we need to solve for x. We're given an equation, square root of 2x plus 1 is equal to x. Now, for this, we want to get rid of our square root because we have an x trapped inside of it, and it's screaming, ah, help me! So we need to save it. To do this, we need to get rid of our square root, and this would be multiplying everything by a squared, because if we multiply everything by a squared, there goes our square root. Cancel out with each other. So we have to get our square root by itself to do this. Otherwise, it'll mess up our problem because we have a 1 in there. So remember, if we want to get rid of the square root, we have to get whatever's being square rooted on its own. That means we're going to have to subtract both sides by 1. So after we do this, we're going to get the square root of 2x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1. Now we can square this. If we do this, we are going to relieve our x. There will be no more square root. So we're going to have a 2x plus 1. And this is going to be equal to our x minus 1 squared. It's important to note that you cannot just factor in an exponent. You cannot factor in an exponent. This will break the problem and you'll get the wrong answer. So to fix that, to go about this differently, we're going to have a 2x plus 1 is equal to an x minus 1 and then an x minus 1. You're going to have this multiple times. If you had, let's say, a 4 here, you would write out x minus 1 4 times. So this is what we have, and we can start factoring this. So we're going to multiply these two together, these two together, these together, and these together. If we do this, we're going to get a new equation. We're still going to have the 2x plus 1 on the left. We're going to have an x squared. X times a negative 1 is a negative x. Negative 1 times x is a negative x. And then we are going to have a negative 1 times a negative 1, which is a positive 1. So we can add like terms. 2x plus 1 is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now, again, we want to add like terms to get everything on one side. So negative 2x minus 1, negative 2x minus 1 for both sides. If we do this, we can see that our 1's are going to cancel out because they're of opposite sign. We are going to get a 0 is equal to x squared minus 2x. And it'll be easier to see if we write it like x squared minus 2x. And if you want to plug it into the quadratic formula, we'll have a plus 0 is equal to 0. That way, we still have our a as 1, we have our b as negative 2, and we have our c as 0. So we're going to plug this into the quadratic equation, negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. I didn't make a mistake right here. It is going to be in this part. I did not add these two together. I just wrote the negative 2x. So this should be a negative 4x because you have to add the like terms together, which I failed to do right there. So we're changing that to a 4x. That means our b is going to be a negative 4. We can plug this into the quadratic equation now. And if we do this, plugging into the quadratic equation, we are going to get that our x is equal to a 0 and it is equal to 4. That is the value. If you want to check this, you could plug it back into our original equation, which is always a good idea. And that is how you would go about solving for this problem.